artefact or 2 or even 3-star artifacts for that matter. And we'll start right away with the route. Just a few things to mention. You will be traveling all around to reach these investigation points. So you probably want a team that's made to travel quite fast, just to reduce the trouble of doing this every day. It really starts to add up if you use a team that's really not made for travel. Second off is there's a limit of 100 investigation points every day. So you're kind of restricted, even though there are multiple hundreds, I'd even say over 1,000 investigation points in Genshin at this point. You really can't get them all, so you have to choose the ones that are most appropriate. However, there are certain methods to overcome the 100 investigation point limit, not by a whole lot, but by a reasonable amount. First off is that investigation points spawn in zones. For example, I can investigate 99 investigation points, so I'm not yet over the limit. And then I go in an area, for example this ship, and even if I take like this, it would be the 100th investigation point. This one wouldn't despawn automatically. It would stay there. Because I need to teleport to another point. For example, if there were artifacts here, then those wouldn't spawn because I'm already over the 100 limit. But if you stay within the same area when you take your 100, the others won't despawn. So the tactic is really just to investigate 99 points, and then you go to the area with the most points at the same place, so you can take them all. Currently, the area that's used is the Mausoleum of King Dishret, right here. But it's just there are others. For example, there's the Tatarasuna Island that has around 26, and there are like 2 extra spots that you can spawn for 28 artifact spots, which is the same as the Mausoleum of King Deshret, but it's quite a bit longer. The artifact spots are more dispersed, etc. So it's just a bit annoying, but it can also be used. Lastly, there are some specific places that you can spawn artifacts, even though... Don't take this one, just a tree here. There are some specific places where you can spawn artifacts even though you reach the limit. If you take them before reaching the limit, they'll still count towards the 99 artifacts for the limit. But you can spawn them after, so you keep them for after you reach the limit. However, if you want to be efficient, these extra artifact spots are generally a bit less time worth, or like artifact experience for time spent, but they can still be a very valuable addition to your routine if you get to the point where you do resinless behavior and other stuff. However, some people will really value their time, so I'm making this video where I only use the most worth it spots in terms of your time. Be very careful to only take the same spots as I do, because in some areas, for example this Eremite camp, there are many spots that are not artifacts. For example, this one is like a weapon. Obviously, I'll be working on an extended video about artifact routes with multiple different routes for many purposes. I'd make one for simplicity that doesn't have all these artifact spots, investigation points that you can't take because it's not artifacts and stuff like that. But for now, I'm just making a video with the fastest artifact route for those who purely value their time above everything else. I should probably also mention that there is a timer for every spot to respawn. Unlike many things, it's not like a daily timer where at 3 o'clock in the morning it resets, sadly. It's based on the time that you left the area. For example, I took this spot at 7:56 in the morning. And let's say I leave this area at 7:58 in the morning, then it will only be tomorrow at 7:58 in the morning that this precise spot will be available again. Although some spots have a 12-hour timer, which just makes things even messier because it's unreliable. There are very few spots that only have a 12-hour timer. So the technique that's used, for example, I know that I started my route today. I started doing this at around 7:50 in the morning. So because you can easily from anywhere just click on this to get right by the abyss, the trick that's used is to leave a pin right next to the abyss where you put the time that you start your artifact route every day. And you use that to, well, keep track of at which time all of your artifact spots should respawn based on a 24-hour timer. There are also people that just want to ignore this and instead make 2 separate artifact routes. So every day they alternate between those 2 artifact routes, but it becomes really messy real quick, and for most people that's just too much to remember instead of just remembering one route and just accepting that you do the trouble of keeping track of which time you should do it again the next day. The demerit of this method is that, like, once in a while it gets too late, like maybe it gets to the time where you go to school or something like that, and it basically shifts your entire routine because you can't do this anymore because it got, like, I don't know, maybe at 8 o'clock I have to go to school. So, well, once it gets past 8 o'clock, it will jump to, like, I don't know, 16 o'clock So in the afternoon when I come back. So that's also something that can annoy some people. So if that's the case, maybe you should look for an alternate route so that you can alternate every day between the two. Next is up here. Oh yeah, and I'm proud because I restricted this route to Inazuma, Sumeru, and Natlan. So previously, like you see all these food item pins. These are the artifact spots that I noted on my map, but aren't part of my artifact route. All the pins that I use for my artifact routes are these ones. So there were some in Fontaine, there were some in the UA, etc. So it was a little bit all over the place, and sometimes pretty hard to just think with my brain, did I get them all or did I forget one somewhere? Obviously, if you stick to the same route every day, it shouldn't be a problem for you. But for me, because I do research on different spots, what are the odds? Because some spots are luckier than the others. Because I switch it up to research, it got really confusing for me. Which spots I already did. So, oh, there was one that I forgot. Oh, wait, I finished here. Yes. You see, luckily, I checked back because there's this area where there are artifact spots that I noted that are quick and included in my... Oh, almost went too far. So you see here there are a lot of artifact spots that you shouldn't take. There are only 6 in the area that you should take. So to summarize, there were 3 areas here. Well, here you have to go down there and then up to the ship. There's also this little spot here. Then you jump straight to the statue of the 7 here. And then there's a little line there. The 8 artifact spots in somewhere in this pyramid. And up here there's 4 more. And now all that are left are the ones in Natlan, which are only up here, right? Yep. Didn't miss a thing. Oh, wrong button. Here it's very helpful to have Kazuha or Shiori or someone like that to just get out of the little hole. As I said, it can be pretty important to have good exploration characters. That was unfortunate. Sorry, Juliana. And that should be 99 artifact spots that I took. So then I go to the Mausoleum of King Deshret, like I said. And we can take the 28 artifact spots that are located there. So instead of having only 100 artifact spots, we get to have 127. Which is a pretty nice thing. And the artifacts in the Mausoleum of King Deshret are still pretty worth your time. Like, they're pretty quick to take. It shouldn't be like it shouldn't yet be in the realm of you're losing a bit of artifact XP per minute worth. Okay, well, I think the second part is a little bit less artifact XP per minute worth. But still. These last two rooms that we'll be visiting are pretty efficient and should make up for it as a whole. So that's the end for this, and then you can go to some extra artifact spots depending on what you like. Maybe you don't think they're worth it. For example, this spot, it takes like 2 seconds to load, and then I take 3 seconds, and then I already have like 1,000 more artifact experience. It's really quick for back. This one is also pretty worth it. Just go there and you take it. They won't always give you... Oh crap. Sorry, the video is freezing a little bit. My... Just... hope the footage is still usable. Oh god, the video froze again. I hope it was clear. I got 2 artifacts from a spot there. Alright, so I said these artifact spots won't always give you 2 gray artifacts, but they on average give more experience than normal artifact spots. So here's gonna be another pretty quick 4-buck one. You really just drop down. Still a little bit too far. And that's it for the really quick ones. Although there are some that I can mention. That will be purely if you really want like a little bit extra value. So I put my marker on the bat rather than on the artifact spots itself, so I can use the bird to just drop down exactly at the place where the bat is. Then there's those in Fontaine. And I'd say that's it pretty much for the really efficient one. Let's count how much XP we got from this. First of all, we got all of this as artifacts, which is kind of cool. And now the total. So there's 3 plus there's rows of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and we had 3 and then there's 5. So it's 5 rows of 8. So 40 40 green artifacts, which are worth twice as much as gray artifacts. So 80. We have 3 more, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 rows of 8 plus 3. Plus 14 times 8 plus 3. So we have the worth of 195 gray artifacts, which are each worth 420 experience, for a total of 81,900 artifact experience. So yeah, that's an artifact route. I do have quite a few extra artifact spots that allow me to reach on average about 100,000 artifact experience. So that's all. To give you an idea of what we can do, let's take this artifact that we raised to level 7 before we ran out of materials. And now let's use only what we got today with this quick artifact route. Oh, pretty good roll. Let's raise it again and again. Ah, crap. Could have been so good. Anyway. And we're still going. We're at, oh. Well, we're almost at the end, but we could have raised it to like level 14.5 from level 7. Which is a pretty good amount of experience. It's almost as much as an entire 200 resin worth of artifact domain experience from 4 and 3-star artifacts. That's a lot. So you can basically, even if you were able to farm artifacts every single day on domains, you could double your output of artifact experience just by doing an artifact run, an artifact route on the side. So yeah, good luck to y'all with your artifacts, and I hope you'll enjoy my next route or whatever video.